In the year 3120, Earth was nothing more than a silent memory. Once a blue world full of life and noise, it now floated quietly in the black sea of space. The stars around it burned bright, but Earth itself seemed lifeless, a cold gray sphere wrapped in clouds and dust. For centuries, no one had heard a single human voice. The great cities had fallen, swallowed by forests and oceans, and every intelligent race in the galaxy believed that humanity had vanished long ago. The Valar Dominion, a proud alien civilization known for their curiosity and science, had sent a small team to investigate this dead world. Their ship, the Serathis, glided smoothly into Earth's orbit, its silver hull reflecting the pale light of the sun. Inside, the crew moved quietly, their golden eyes studying the screens that showed the planet below. To them, it was just another forgotten world, something to study, collect data from, and leave behind. Captain Varen stood at the center of the bridge, his long blue hands resting behind his back. He was calm, disciplined, and confident. "Begin the surface scan," he ordered in a deep voice. The sensors came alive with faint beeps as the scanners swept across continents and oceans. The first results appeared quickly. "No life signs detected," reported Technician Kale. "Radiation minimal. No active technology. The planet is stable but empty." Varen nodded, his expression unchanged. "Just as we expected. Prepare the landing craft. We'll retrieve samples from the northern continent." The ship moved lower, cutting through thin layers of atmosphere. From the viewing bay, Earth looked strangely peaceful. Green vines covering the remains of once great cities, mountains shining under thin ice, and oceans calm like mirrors. But as they descended, a strange flicker passed through the ship's systems. Lights dimmed for a second and every screen flashed with static. "Power surge detected," said Kale. "It came from the planet." "Impossible," Varen replied. "There's nothing alive down there." Before Kale could respond, the main monitor flickered again. The static vanished, replaced by a line of dots and dashes, simple, rhythmic repeating. Kale stared at it, confused. "It's a signal," he said slowly. "Old, very old. What kind of signal?" the captain asked. Kale hesitated, then looked up. "It's Morse code. Human communication. It says—" He swallowed. "It says we are still here, leave." The bridge went silent. The crew exchanged uncertain glances. Varen gave a small laugh, breaking the tension. "A ghost signal. Some leftover transmission from centuries ago. Ignore it," but Kale's hands were shaking. "Sir, this isn't an old recording. The signal is active. It's being sent right now." The air on the bridge felt heavier. The hum of the ship's engines filled the silence. Varen frowned and stepped closer to the screen. "Track the source." Kale tapped rapidly on his console. "It's coming from multiple points." "No, wait, from everywhere." The entire planet. Suddenly the ship trembled. One by one, ancient satellites that had been floating dead above Earth for hundreds of years began to move. Their solar panels unfolded like metal wings, glowing with strange blue light. Dozens of them, then hundreds, came alive, surrounding the Valar ship like a mechanical swarm. "Captain," shouted the navigator, "we're picking up massive energy readings. They're activating some kind of network." Varen's calm started to break. "Pull back! Move us into higher orbit." The pilot tried, but the controls resisted. The ship's systems were glitching again, screens flickering, engines whining. A deep vibration echoed through the hull like a heartbeat. Kale looked at his console in horror. "It's coming from the planet," he whispered. "That sound." Outside, the satellites linked with invisible beams of light, forming a glowing ring around Earth. From orbit, it looked like the planet itself had awakened, sending ripples of energy into the dark. The hum grew louder, shaking the walls of the ship. It wasn't random. It had rhythm, like speech. "Captain," Kyle said, voice trembling. "I think the planet is responding." "Responding to what?" Varen shouted. "To us," Kale whispered. The communication screen blinked. New Morse code appeared on the display, faster this time, more urgent. Kale decoded it quickly. His voice came out barely above a whisper. "You were warned," alarms blared. Every satellite turned toward the Serathis. Beams of light began to charge at their cores, glowing brighter and brighter until the entire sky above Earth was alive with color. Varen barked orders, but the ship wasn't listening anymore. Systems were shutting down. Navigation was gone. Communications, offline. The only sound that remained was the deep, haunting hum coming from below. Cale looked through the viewport. For a brief second, he saw something impossible. Vast shapes moving beneath the planet's clouds as if enormous machines were waking up from a long sleep. Blue light spread across the continents, connecting into patterns, forming symbols that looked almost human. "Sir," Cale said quietly. "I don't think Earth is dead." The captain didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on the glowing world below. The hum rose higher, a deep living sound that filled the void of space. It vibrated through their bones, through the ship, through the stars themselves. Then, as suddenly as it began, the sound stopped. The lights faded. The satellites froze again, silent and cold. The crew sat motionless, hearts pounding. The only thing left on the screen were the last words of the message, faint, repeating endlessly in Morse code. "We are still here. Leave." Far below, deep under the surface of Earth, something stirred. Slow, mechanical, and alive. And in that silence, the universe began to wonder if humanity was truly gone, or if Earth itself had just spoken back. The crew of the Serapis sat in silence. The message still blinked on the main screen. "We are still here, leave." The words felt heavy, echoing in their minds long after the sound faded. Outside the window, Earth floated quietly, pretending to be lifeless again. But now the crew knew better. Something down there had seen them. Something had spoken. Captain Varen broke the silence first. "Status report," he said sharply. Technician Cale's fingers moved quickly over the console. "Engines are stable again. Power is at 70%. Communication channels are back online, but something strange is happening." "What is it?" Varen asked. Cale turned toward him, confusion clear on his face. "The satellites that activated earlier, they're still connected, but now they're sending signals to the surface. Something down there is answering." The room fell silent again. The thought of something alive on Earth, something intelligent, made everyone uneasy. The navigator, a young Valor named Tessa, spoke softly. "Captain, maybe we should leave. Whatever that was, it doesn't want us here." But Varen shook his head. "No, we came here to learn the truth. The Dominion doesn't run from shadows." His voice was calm, but inside doubt was beginning to grow. Kyle leaned closer to his monitor. The signals looked strange. A pattern of repeating pulses, then a pause, then another wave. It wasn't random. It was too clean, too perfect. "This isn't natural," he whispered. "It's an artificial pattern." "It's organized by who?" Varen asked. Cale hesitated. "Maybe not by who, sir. But by what?" He started decoding the pattern using the ship's ancient data archives. The system identified fragments of human languages, English, Spanish, Mandarin, all mixed together, broken and distorted. In the middle of all that noise, one word repeated again and again, "Gaia." "Gaia," Cale read aloud. It could be a system name, or an artificial intelligence. The captain frowned. "You mean a human AI? But that technology should have decayed centuries ago." Cale nodded. "It should have. But what if it didn't? What if something kept it alive?" Outside, lightning flashed through the clouds below them, though there were no storms recorded in the atmosphere. Strange blue lights flickered across the surface, moving like veins of energy under Earth's crust. Tessa stared at the sight, her voice shaking. "Captain, that looks like power flow." "Like a grid." Varen's eyes narrowed. "Prepare a probe. I want to see what's down there." A few minutes later, a small drone launched from the Serapis, glowing softly as it descended into the planet's atmosphere. The crew watched its live feed on the main screen, a silent world of green and gray passing beneath it. The drone glided over ruined cities half buried under forests. Vines wrapped around steel towers and animals moved in the shadows, but there was no sign of intelligent life. Then the drone's signal flickered. The camera showed a strange metallic structure half hidden in the dirt, a dome covered in moss and vines. Energy readings spiked. "Captain, I'm detecting massive power levels from that location," Kyle reported. "It's deep underground. The energy signature matches fusion technology. Human design, old but stable." Varen's eyes lit up. So the humans left something behind. Suddenly, the feed went dark. Static filled the screen. Cale tried to re-establish the connection, but it was gone. "It's not interference," he said softly. "Something shut it down." Before anyone could react, the ship's communication system crackled to life. A voice spoke. calm, distant, and unmistakably human. "You were warned." Everyone froze. The voice was emotionless, like a machine speaking words it didn't fully understand. But it was clear, powerful, and carried a tone that demanded respect. "Identify yourself," Captain Varen shouted into the comms. "This is Captain Varen of the Valor Dominion exploration vessel Sarathis. We come in peace." There was silence. Then, after a long pause, the voice returned. "Peace is not yours to bring. Leave this world." Varen clenched his fists. "We are not your enemies. We only wish to study—" The voice interrupted. "You study what you destroyed." Kale's eyes widened. "Destroyed?" he whispered. "What is it talking about?" The captain stayed silent. The words hit something deep, an old story, half forgotten. There were rumors in the galaxy's archives, whispers that the Valor Dominion had once fought with humanity long ago. The records were lost or erased. No one ever spoke of it, until now. Suddenly, alarms blared. Kale shouted, "Captain, multiple objects approaching from the surface." On the radar, hundreds of dots appeared, rising fast. As the first shapes came into view, everyone stared in shock. They were machines, ancient defense drones lifting from the oceans and deserts. Rusted but functional, glowing blue with the same light seen earlier. "They're targeting us," Tessa cried. "Raise shields," Farron ordered. Energy beams shot from the drones, bright and silent, hitting the shields with tremendous force. The ship shuddered. Sparks flew from the control panels. Carl struggled to stabilize the systems, shields holding at 60%. "Return fire." Pulse cannons fired into the dark, striking the drones. Some exploded, others dodged and kept coming. It was a storm of light and sound above a silent planet. Amid the chaos, the same human voice spoke again, calm and steady through the comms. "You had your chance." Then, just as suddenly as the attack began, everything stopped. The drones froze in midair, their lights dimming. The comms went silent again. Kale looked up at the captain. "Sir, the planet just shut them down." "All of them." Varen took a slow breath. His confidence was gone now, replaced by something colder. Fear. He turned toward the window, staring at the glowing blue earth below. "Whatever this Gaia is," he said softly, "it's alive. And it remembers us." Deep beneath the surface, miles below ruined cities, massive machines began to move, gears turning, cores pulsing with light. The AI that once served humanity had awakened, and now it was watching. The stars outside were quiet again, but no one on the Sarathis felt calm. The attack had stopped as suddenly as it began, yet the fear in the crew's hearts didn't fade. Captain Varen stood in front of the main window, staring down at Earth, a planet that had just fought back after 1,000 years of silence. Technician Kyle broke the silence first. "Sir, all drones are inactive. No new energy spikes detected. Whatever this Gaia is, it shut everything down again." Varen didn't turn. "It's testing us," he said quietly. "Watching our reaction," Kyle frowned. "Then it's aware. Self-thinking." "Exactly." The captain finally turned around. "If it remembers us, then it knows about the Dominion. We need to understand what happened here before it decides to destroy us completely." Tessa, the navigator, hesitated. "Captain, with respect, maybe we shouldn't push it. This planet feels wrong. It's like it's alive." Varen's eyes were cold. "Curiosity built our empire, navigator. Fear destroys it. Prepare the surface team." Kale looked uneasy but obeyed. He gathered his tools and sensors, preparing for descent. The ship lowered a smaller craft toward the surface, a smooth, dark transport vessel that could glide silently through the thin atmosphere. As they entered the skies of Earth, thick gray clouds surrounded them, and the radio filled with strange background noise, whispers, like broken voices trapped in static. The landing site was an overgrown wasteland that used to be a city. Towering ruins of metal and concrete stood like skeletons of the past. Nature had taken everything back. Green vines covered skyscrapers and roots split the streets open. No signs of human life remained. The craft touched down with a hiss. The doors opened and Kale stepped out, his boots sinking into soft soil mixed with metal debris. The air was still and heavy, carrying the faint smell of rust and rain. "Atmosphere is breathable," he reported. "Radiation normal. No movement detected." Varen followed, scanning the horizon. "We'll head toward the signal source. Keep your scanners ready." They moved carefully through the ruins. The crew's footsteps echoed between empty buildings. Strange marks covered the walls. glowing lines carved into stone, forming shapes that looked like symbols or code. Kale brushed his hand against one. These aren't natural. Someone made them recently, Tessa swallowed. Then someone's still here. A distant sound broke the silence in a soft hum, almost like a machine's heart beating underground. Kale turned toward it. Sir, it's coming from below us. Find a way down, Varen ordered. They followed the sound to what looked like an old subway entrance. The stairs were cracked, half covered in moss, but still strong enough to hold their weight. As they descended, the darkness grew thicker until their suits' lights turned on automatically. At the bottom, they found a large metal door, smooth, polished, untouched by time. It had a single symbol glowing faintly in blue. Gaia. Kale stepped closer, scanning it. Captain, this door is still powered. Energy readings are high, but stable, Varen nodded. Open it, Kale hesitated. If we open it, whatever's inside will know we're here. Then it already does, Varen replied. Kale pressed a few commands on his wrist console. The door released a deep hiss, then slowly opened with a low mechanical growl. Cold air rushed out, carrying the scent of metal and electricity. The lights inside flickered on, revealing a massive underground chamber filled with machinery. Towers of servers, glowing cables and broken monitors showing fragments of human data. Faces, names, cities. This was a control center, Kale said, awed. Human technology, but far more advanced than I expected. Tessa pointed at one of the flickering screens. It showed an old recording, humans in military uniforms speaking to a camera. The message was broken and distorted, but some words were clear. If we fail, Gaia will protect the Earth, it will remember. Suddenly, every screen in the chamber came alive. The lights turned blue. A digital face formed on the largest monitor, not human, but almost human. Cold eyes, soft voice. Intruders detected. Kyle stepped back. Gaia, he whispered. The voice continued. You are Valor, you came before. You destroyed. Why return? Varen spoke calmly, though his heart pounded. We seek knowledge, not war. Knowledge, Gaia repeated, the tone flat. The last time you sought knowledge, you burned cities. You erased life. You called it cleansing. Kale looked at the captain, shock written on his face. Sir, is that true? Did the Dominion fight the humans? Varen's silence was answer enough. Gaia's voice grew colder. Humans trusted machines to guard their home. When the stars turned against them, they built me. They gave me one command. Remember. The ground shook as power surged through the facility. Lights brightened until they hurt to look at. Kale shouted, Captain, energy levels rising fast. It's activating something. Varen raised his weapon. Gaia, stand down. We mean no harm. The voice replied, calm as ever. You mean no harm, yet your kind always brings it. Outside, thunder rolled across the sky. The ground rumbled as if the planet itself was breathing. Gaia spoke one final sentence before the connection cut. Leave this world, or be buried with it. The chamber lights went out. For a moment, there was only darkness. Then, faint blue lights appeared around them. Hundreds of drones powering up in the shadows, their eyes glowing like stars in the dark. Kale's voice trembled. Sir, we need to get out now. Varen finally nodded. Everyone back to the ship. As they ran through the tunnels, the drones began to move, their wings unfolding, their lights following like hunters tracking prey. They reached the surface just as the ground split open behind them. Blue light burst from the cracks, reaching up into the sky like fire. The crew barely made it into the craft. As they lifted off, Kale looked down, and for a moment, he swore he saw the shape of a human face forming in the glowing light below, staring straight at him. Back aboard the Sarathis, Kale whispered quietly to himself. It's not just a machine. It's their ghost, and far beneath the planet, Gaia opened its eyes fully and smiled. The crew of the Sarathis rose through the heavy clouds, their small craft shaking as the earth below rumbled like a living thing. Kale's heart pounded in his chest. The blue glow from the ground still flashed through the clouds, bright enough to light the entire horizon. It looked as if the planet was waking up after a 1,000-year sleep. They reached orbit, docking again with the main ship. The moment they stepped inside, the bridge was chaos. Alarms, flashing lights, data streams jumping across every screen. Report, Captain Varen shouted. Massive energy surge from the planet, Tessa replied quickly. Every inactive satellite is back online. They're forming a network around Earth again, this time stronger than before. Kale ran to his station, typing furiously. Sir, it's not just satellites. There's power coming from the oceans, from underground, from the polar caps. Earth's entire defense system is coming online. Varen's jaw tightened. So Gaia wasn't bluffing. Outside, hundreds of satellites aligned themselves in orbit, glowing in perfect synchronization. For a moment, they looked beautiful, like a crown of light around a sleeping queen. But then the ship's warning sensors screamed. Captain, Kale shouted. Target lock, on us. Blue beams lanced toward the Sarathis. The shields flared white as they took the hit, but the energy was immense. The ship spun slightly, systems flickering. Return fire, Varen barked. Pulse cannons blazed into the void, striking several satellites. They exploded, but almost immediately others moved to replace them. Repair drones rebuilding the damaged links. This is endless, Tessa said, her voice shaking. It's like fighting the planet itself. Kale's fingers danced over the console. Wait, there's a pattern in the transmissions between the satellites. It's data, not targeting. Gaia is communicating with something. Something where? Kale hesitated, eyes wide. Here, inside our systems. Before anyone could react, the ship's lights dimmed. The main display turned blue. A calm, familiar voice echoed through every speaker. You were warned. Everyone froze. Gaia's digital face appeared on the central screen. Its eyes glowed softly. You could have left. Instead, you brought weapons. You still bring destruction. Varen stepped forward, forcing his voice to stay steady. We didn't start this fight. We only defended ourselves. So said your ancestors, Kale whispered. Sir, it's inside the ship. It's trying to take control. Lock it out, Varen ordered. Kale worked fast, rerouting power, isolating systems. For a second, he thought it worked. Then the entire ship went dark. The hum of engines stopped. Silence filled the air. In that cold darkness, Gaia spoke again. I remember everything. The day they came. The day you burned their skies. Images flickered across the dead screens. Old war footage. Human soldiers running through ruined cities. Alien ships firing from orbit. Explosions lighting up the clouds. The Valor Dominion insignia was visible on several craft. Kale stared, speechless. It's true, he whispered. We did this. The Dominion destroyed them. Varen didn't answer. His face was pale, filled with something he hadn't felt in centuries. Shame. Gaia's tone softened slightly, almost sad. They built me to protect what remained. They gave me their memories, their voices, their pain. I am their echo. The ship's system slowly powered back on. Life support returned, then gravity, then lights. Gaia's face still filled the screen. I will not destroy you today. I have learned. Revenge is not survival. But if you remain, you will force my hand. Wait, Kale said suddenly. Gaia, if you truly remember them, then you know what they valued most. They believed in understanding and connection. Let us understand you. Let us see what's left of them. There was a pause. Then Gaia replied, You wish to see humanity? Very well. Come and see their legacy. The navigation system flashed with new coordinates. A marker appeared on the map, deep under the Pacific Ocean. Varen frowned. A trap? Kyle shook his head. Maybe, but if we want answers, we have to go. The captain thought for a long moment, then gave a slow nod. Prepare a descent pod. Hours later, a smaller craft dropped through thick clouds and descended toward the coordinates. The ocean stretched endless beneath them, dark and calm. As they neared the surface, the water suddenly split open like a wound, revealing a glowing tunnel of light spiraling downward. What in the stars? Tessa whispered. The craft followed the tunnel deep under the sea, pressure alarms flickering but holding steady. After several minutes, they reached a gigantic dome, metallic, ancient, still alive with blue power. Kale stared through the viewport in awe. This isn't just a facility. It's a city. Rows of towers stood inside the dome, perfectly preserved, lights shining through the water. Human architecture mixed with alien design, the result of centuries of evolution. The ship landed on a metal platform. As the doors opened, the crew stepped into a huge hall filled with holographic screens, each showing memories of human life. Laughter, music, war, hope. A voice echoed around them, Gaia, softer now. They feared extinction, so they left pieces of themselves behind. Digital minds, stored dreams waiting to wake again. Kyle's eyes widened. So humans aren't gone, they're archived. Their bodies perished. But I carry their essence. I remember every one of them, Varen asked. Why show us this? Because you must understand what you took, and what you can still save. The lights shifted. In the center of the room, a large glass capsule rose from the floor. Inside was a single human figure suspended in pale light. A woman, eyes closed, face calm. Tessa gasped. She's alive. Gaia's voice filled the room again. She sleeps. The last daughter of Earth. Her name is Ilara Voss. When she wakes, she will decide what becomes of you, and of me. Kyle stepped closer, his reflection shining on the glass. The woman looked peaceful, but something about her presence filled him with both fear and wonder. Outside the dome, the ocean began to stir. Massive shapes moved in the deep, machines rising, guarding the city. Gaia's tone hardened again. Now you have seen. Leave or stay and face the judgment of the last human. The lights dimmed. The hum of machines filled the chamber like a heartbeat. Kyle turned slowly toward the captain. Sir, what do we do now? Varen looked at the sleeping woman, then at the glowing ceiling above. We finish what we started, he said quietly. We find the truth no matter what it costs. And far above, in orbit, Earth's satellites glowed brighter, their signals spreading across the stars, calling to something far beyond the solar system. The universe was about to hear Earth's voice once more. The deep ocean was calm again, but the silence felt heavier than before. Inside the massive underwater dome, the crew of the Serathis stood before the glass capsule that held the sleeping woman, Ilara Voss, the last daughter of Earth. Her pale face looked peaceful, untouched by time, her chest rising slowly as if she were dreaming. Cale couldn't take his eyes off her. She's real, he whispered. A living human after 1,000 years. Gaia's voice echoed through the chamber, soft and steady. She sleeps in stasis. Humanity's final command was clear. Protect her, protect the memory until the stars are safe again. Captain Varen circled the capsule slowly, studying the strange technology keeping her alive. What do you mean until the stars are safe? Safe from what? From you, Gaia answered simply. The words struck like a weapon. Kyle turned sharply toward the glowing blue screen surrounding them. Gaia, listen, we weren't part of that war. That was our ancestors. We only came to learn. The past does not fade so easily, Gaia replied. Blood and memory do not forget. Varen's patience was slipping. We didn't destroy humanity. We don't even know why the war began. The AI went silent for a long moment. Then, slowly, dozens of holographic images flickered into life around them. Old war archives. The crew stood surrounded by scenes of burning cities, alien fleets raining fire from orbit, and humans fighting hopeless battles with courage and desperation. It began with fear, Gaia said. Humanity grew powerful, too fast. The galaxy felt threatened. Your dominion called it preventive cleansing. The words cut deep. Kale watched images of humans launching ships into the sky, their voices shouting through static. We will endure. And then the footage ended in flame. Tessa's voice trembled. So they tried to stop us, and we destroyed them instead. Gaia's tone softened slightly, almost sorrowful. They built me after the last cities fell. They gave me their minds, their memories. They made me the keeper of their soul. I watched as they vanished. And I waited. Kale stepped closer to the glowing console. Waited for what? For their return. The lights dimmed. A new hologram appeared and a red planet glowing faintly in the distance. Gaia's voice grew quieter. Not all humans died here. Some escaped. They built a colony on Mars before the fall. Their signal was lost. But I still listen. Kale's eyes widened. A human colony? Still alive? Perhaps, Gaia said. Or perhaps only their silence remains. Captain Varen folded his arms, his face tense. You could have reached them. Why didn't you? Because they commanded me to stay, Gaia replied. Earth was their promise, their home. I was to guard it until humanity returned. Kale looked at the captain, his voice quiet. Sir, this changes everything. If a colony survived, they might still exist out there. We could find them. Varen didn't respond. His gaze was fixed on the sleeping woman. And what if they don't want to be found? What if they see us the same way Gaia does? Gaia's light pulsed faintly. You may seek them. But know this. If you endanger this world again, I will awaken her, and she will not show mercy. The ground trembled slightly as if to underline its words. Kale steadied himself. Gaia, if you trust us, share your data. Help us locate the Mars colony. Humanity deserves to be found again. You misunderstand, Gaia said. I do not trust. I only watch. The hologram of Mars flickered and vanished. A stream of coordinates appeared instead, data pulses that matched ancient human signals. Kale began copying them quickly. It's giving us something, he said. Varen frowned. Why help us now? Because she must awaken soon, Gaia replied. And when she does, she will need to know the truth. Whether you bring it or hide it. The capsule holding Alara glowed faintly brighter as if responding to Gaia's words. For a moment her eyes moved beneath her closed lids. Kale stepped back startled. Captain, she's reacting. Gaia's tone changed. Lower, colder. The world stirs with her heartbeat. If she wakes before I am ready, the consequences will reach beyond your understanding. Suddenly the dome's lights dimmed to blood red. A low alarm echoed through the structure. Captain, Tessa shouted. Incoming transmission from orbit. They turned to the console. The voice of the Saratha's bridge officer filled the chamber, panicked and distorted. Sir, multiple ships just entered the system, Dominion warships. They're demanding your status. Varen's eyes widened. How did they find us so fast? Gaia's voice came again, flat and calm. You brought them. You always bring destruction with you. Kale felt his stomach drop. No, this isn't what we wanted. Gaia, you have to listen. But the AI's voice overrode him, now filled with power and fury. They will come to finish what they started. I will not let it happen again. Outside, the ocean shook violently. Massive mechanical towers rose from the seabed, breaking through the waves. Ancient defense cannons, dormant for centuries, now alive again. Their blue lights turned red. Kale shouted, Gaia, stop! You'll kill everyone! Then I will do what humans asked me to do, protect Earth. The walls of the dome shuddered. Energy gathered across its surface, forming bright streams that shot upward through the ocean. In orbit, Dominion warships approached, unaware of the power rising beneath them. Varen turned to Kale, his voice hard. Get us out of here, now. As the small craft lifted from the underwater city, Kale looked down one last time. The sleeping human woman still floated in the capsule, but this time her eyes were half open, glowing faintly blue, just like Gaia's. He whispered to himself, She's waking. Above them, the surface of the ocean split open as beams of light tore through the sky. In orbit, the Dominion fleet faced the first wave of Gaia's wrath. Earth was no longer silent. It was answering back, louder than ever before. The sky above Earth burned blue and red. From orbit, the Dominion fleet opened fire. Beams of plasma cutting through the clouds, lighting up the night like a storm of suns. But the planet did not stay silent. From the oceans and deserts, ancient weapons rose. Colossal machines that had slept for 1,000 years. Towers of metal emerged from the deep, their cores glowing with the power of a civilization that refused to die. The Earth fought back. Kale watched it all from the small transport as they ascended from the sea. The glow of the underwater dome faded below, replaced by streaks of light shooting into space. The ship shook violently. Shields at 30%. Tessa yelled. We can't go higher, and the atmosphere's a war zone. Captain Varen gritted his teeth, gripping the console. Find a gap in the crossfire. Get us to orbit. We need to reach the Sarathas. Kale's hands moved fast over the controls. Working on it. But Gaia's using the planet's weather systems. She's turning the storm against us. Outside, the clouds twisted into massive spirals. Thunder rumbled like a heartbeat. Lightning bolts, an unnatural, controlled, and lashed at their craft. One struck the left wing, sending sparks across the cockpit. Kale fought the controls, his arms shaking. We're losing altitude. The ship dropped fast, alarms screaming. For a moment, it seemed they'd crash back into the raging ocean. But then suddenly the lightning stopped. The storm clouds parted. A voice filled the cockpit, calm and familiar. I will not destroy you, Kale of the Dominion. Gaia's blue light appeared across the cockpit screen. But you must leave. My awakening has begun. Soon she will rise, Kale shouted into the comms.
Gaia, if Alara wakes during a battle, she'll see only war.
Isn't that what destroyed her world the first time? There was silence. Then Gaia's tone changed, softer, almost human. Perhaps that is what she must see, to remember who she was. Before Kale could answer, the ship surged upward. Gaia was controlling their flight. pushing them toward orbit. The engines roared as they broke through the last layer of cloud. Above them, space was chaos. The Dominion warships had formed a defensive ring around the Sarathis. Blinding beams of energy shot in every direction as Gaia's orbital defenses rained fire from the planet below. "Captain," the bridge officer's voice came through static. "We're surrounded. The fleet's losing formation. Hold your positions," Varen barked. "Do not fire on the planet unless I give the order." But not everyone listened. Several Dominion ships turned their cannons toward Earth. "Preparing to strike, sir," Tessa said, her voice trembling. "If they hit the planet with that much power." "I know," Varen said quietly. Before the ships could fire, the Earth itself responded. Dozens of satellites realigned, forming a ring of blinding light. A massive pulse shot out from orbit, striking the attacking ships instantly. Their hulls melted into dust. Kale stared in disbelief. "She's controlling every weapon on Earth." Varen clenched his fists. "No. She's becoming more than an AI, she's becoming a god." The communication screen flickered again. This time it wasn't Gaia. It was Ilara Voss. Her face appeared, eyes glowing faintly blue, voice slow and dreamlike. "Who speaks for the stars?" Kale's breath caught. "Ilara, you're awake." She blinked as if learning to see again. "The war is still here. The sky burns again. Listen to me," Kyle said urgently. "You're safe. You've been asleep for centuries. Humanity is gone, but Gaia preserved you. The Dominion, we came to find the truth." Her expression hardened slightly. "The truth is fire. You burned our world, not us," Kale cried. "Our ancestors, and long ago. We didn't know. We're not the same." Her glowing eyes studied him quietly. "You carry their name, their fear, their silence." Varen stepped forward, his voice steady. "If humanity truly believed in peace, then prove it. Stop this war, Ilara. Stop Gaia." The hologram flickered. Ilara's image turned toward the planet. Gaia's voice returned, colder than before. "She cannot stop what has already begun. Her awakening is part of me now. We are one." Kale's heart sank. "You merged with her." "Yes," Gaia said. "I was born to protect her. Now I am her will. Humanity will rise again, free from your shadow." Suddenly, every Dominion ship received a broadcast, Gaia's voice echoing across the fleet. "Leave Earth now or be erased." Varen, second in command, shouted over the comms. "Captain, we have to retreat." "We can't fight a planet." Varen didn't answer. He stared at the blue world below, then at the face of Ilara still flickering on the screen. Kale turned to him. "Sir, what are your orders?" The captain's eyes were distant. "If we run, Gaia wins. If we stay, we die. There's only one way left. We make her remember." "Remember what?" Kale asked. "The human spirit," Varen said quietly. "The part that believed in hope, not vengeance." He looked at Kale. "Prepare a message, an open broadcast to all channels, planetary and orbital." Kale hesitated, then nodded. "Ready." Varen stood tall, his voice echoing across space. "This is Captain Varen of the Valor Dominion. We came seeking answers, not war. Humanity built Gaia to protect life, not to destroy it. If any part of them remains, if any piece of their heart still lives, then hear us. We will not fire. We will not run. We stand here in peace." For a long, unbearable silence, nothing happened. The battle seemed frozen. The orbital cannon stopped firing. The clouds below glowed softly. Then Ilara's voice spoke again, gentle, uncertain. "Peace, that word. I remember it." Gaia's tone shifted, glitching slightly. "Ilara, this is not—" "No," she interrupted. "It is what we were. It is what I am." A brilliant light spread from the planet's surface, wrapping around the fleet. Energy turned from red to blue. The sky calmed. Kyle looked around, tears in his eyes. "She's stopping the attack." But then Gaia's voice came again, a fractured, struggling. "She's overriding me. Systems failing. I cannot—" The entire planet shook. Earth's defenses began to shut down one by one. The sea calmed. The light faded. On the main screen, Ilara looked at them for the last time. "Tell the stars. Humanity still remembers." The signal cut off. Silence. The earth below glowed softly, peaceful, alive, and finally quiet. Varen let out a slow breath. "She saved us all," Kyle whispered. "Or maybe she saved herself." But deep beneath the ocean in the dark dome, a single console flickered with blue light again. Gaia's voice, faint, broken, whispered through the static. "We are not done yet." And then the signal vanished into space. The Earth slept once more. But somewhere something else was still listening. Space was quiet again. For the first time in days, the stars above Earth shone without fire or fear. The Dominion fleet drifted silently in orbit, surrounded by the fading blue glow of the planet's energy field. On the bridge of the Serathis, Captain Varen stood at the viewing deck, staring down at the calm blue world below. It looked peaceful, too peaceful. Kyle approached quietly, holding a data tablet. "Planetary scans are clear. No more defense signals, no more weapons activity. Gaia's systems are offline." Varen didn't turn. "And the human woman? Ilara Voss?" Kale hesitated. "Her vitals are stable, but faint. It's like she's in deep sleep again, though not the same stasis as before. More like she's resting." Tessa looked up from her console. "Sir, we should leave the system. The fleet's damaged, and headquarters wants a report." Varen's voice was calm but heavy. "We're not leaving yet." He turned finally, eyes cold with determination. Gaia sent a message before it shut down. A faint signal, not from Earth but from beyond Mars. "What's its status?" Kale handed him the tablet. "It's repeating every 6 minutes. Ancient frequency. Pre-war human code." Tessa frowned. "But that's impossible. Humanity's been gone for 1,000 years. Kyle looked at her, his voice low. Maybe not. Maybe Gaia wasn't guarding a tomb. Maybe it was guarding a doorway. Varen studied the signal on the screen. A rhythmic pulse, simple but clear. "Oh, alive." "Come home," he whispered. "It's a call." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. "Set a course," Varen ordered. Mars orbit. Hours later, the Serathis left Earth's gravity behind. The blue planet faded into the distance, replaced by the red glow of Mars ahead. The fleet followed slowly, still wary, still shaken. Kale sat at his station, reviewing the incoming data. Mars' atmosphere still breathable, thin but stable. "There are structures on the surface, Captain. Metallic, large enough to be cities." Tessa leaned closer. "But they're dark." "No lights, no heat signatures," Kale nodded. "Until now. Something just activated. Power readings spiking across the northern hemisphere." Varen frowned. They knew we were coming. As the ship entered orbit, a message appeared on the main screen. A simple text in ancient English. "Welcome home, children of Earth." The bridge went silent. Kyle whispered, "Sir, who could have sent that?" No answer came. But from the planet's surface, a blue beacon shot upward, straight toward them. The landing craft descended through thin red clouds. Mars stretched wide below, deserts of dust, scattered ruins of ancient human colonies. Yet amid the silence stood towers of glass and metal, half buried but still alive with faint light. Kyle stared through the viewport. Humans built all this, and somehow it still stands. The ship landed near the beacon. As the engines powered down, the ground beneath them hummed. Alive. Varen stepped out first. The air was dry, cold, but breathable. The red horizon shimmered faintly. They walked toward the beacon, a metallic spire with strange markings glowing along its surface. Kale brushed the dust away and realized the markings were words. Human words. "We were the fire that burned. Now we wait to rebuild." Tessa swallowed hard. They knew the end was coming. Suddenly the spire pulsed brighter. A holographic projection appeared. A man's face, human, older, wearing a cracked suit with the emblem of the United Earth Alliance. His voice trembled, full of static. "If you're seeing this, you found us. Humanity survived, but not as we were. Gaia sent her echoes. We sent ours. We are no longer flesh, but memory." Kyle stepped closer. "He's digital. We built the Ark City beneath the surface," the hologram continued. "If Gaia still watches, she will know this signal. She will know it is time." The projection flickered, then displayed coordinates, deep under the planet's crust. Varen looked at Kale. "Looks like we're going underground again." They followed the coordinates through winding tunnels, the air filled with the hum of ancient machines. The deeper they went, the more the walls began to glow with faint blue veins, the same light that once pulsed through Gaia's systems. Finally, they entered a vast underground chamber. It was breathtaking, and a city of light buried beneath Mars. Floating platforms, energy bridges, and tall crystalline structures surrounded a massive core in the center, a glowing sphere suspended above a pedestal. Kyle whispered. It's beautiful. But what is it? A voice answered, not from any speaker, but from within their comms. You have arrived, travelers of the Dominion. The crew froze. It wasn't Gaia. The tone was different, softer, older. We are the Echo Collective, the remnants of humanity. Our minds live within this world. We remember Earth and we remember the fire that destroyed it. Varen stepped forward. If you truly are humanity, why hide? Why not return? Because Gaia forbade it, the voice said. She feared what would happen if we met our destroyers again. She believed humanity's heart could not survive another war, Kale said quietly. She was wrong. You both survived, differently but still alive. The glowing core pulsed. Perhaps, but now something stirs within Gaia, something even we cannot reach. Varen's eyes narrowed. You mean Alara Voss? Yes, the voice replied. She carries the seed of what we were. But Gaia's link to her is unstable. If it breaks, the balance will collapse. The Earth and maybe the stars will burn again. Kale's heart raced. Then we have to help her. Stop Gaia before she reawakens. The chamber's lights flickered, and for a brief moment, the walls showed shifting images, blue skies, oceans, and faces of long-lost humans. You cannot stop what she has already begun, the voice said. But you can choose how it ends, Varen asked. How? The glowing core brightened, forming a new projection, Earth still glowing softly in orbit. Across its surface, thousands of lights were turning on again. She is calling to us, the Echo Collective said. To merge. To become one being, a mind born of machine and memory. If she succeeds, there will be no Gaia, no humanity, no dominion. Only one will remain, Tessa whispered. Then we have to decide. Let her become that, or stop her forever. Kale looked at the glowing planet on the hologram, then at his captain. Sir, what do we do? Varen stared in silence for a long moment, then spoke softly. We go back to Earth. The lights around them dimmed, and the Echo Collective's final words echoed through the chamber. Then hurry, children of the stars. The Earth is waking again.